And I don't want to cause any controversy, so I won't say no names. But this mother Donald Trump, I can't stand. So, before we get into this next song, Lenny, we would like to request something of you. When I say you say Trump. When I say you say Trump.
A resurfaced clip has a lot of folks talking about Eminem and the President of the United States yet again. Although it is from 2017, it remains prevalent today.
Because there's a lot happening here. First thing I want to say is Eminem is obviously a gay man. It's very sad that Eminem cleaned out his closet but never came out of his closet. Okay, a lot going on here. I think first and foremost, I just would like to again remind people that he is in fact a struggling internally gay man. And so there's a lot happening with Eminem, and we should pray for him. Oh my, so cool. That's a tough one. That's so tough.
Because while the MAGAverse attacks him...
And speaking of Michigan, Eminem, you're a proud Detroit native. You should be ecstatic that Donald Trump is trying to bring back jobs to a city and state destroyed by Democrats and their policies. Eminem, your self-righteous and almighty line in the sand is really something, given the fact you built a career on homophobic slurs, domestic violence glorification, and other filthy lyrics. Democrats, if you want to hold up an anti-Trump role model, maybe you should look into the real Slim Shady before you give a standing ovation for his F-Trump tirade. It's amazing how quickly your love of women, gays, peace, love, and tolerance is abandoned the second a celebrity puppets your anti-Trump narrative.
And Tommy Lauren also getting in on the action, proving how hypocritical one could possibly be. Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStromShow. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
Few Americans take the vile rapper Eminem seriously. He represents the lowest form of entertainment in this country and is a publicity hound to boot. However, his attack on Sarah Palin, which is very crude, seems to be okay with the media.
And even from years past, this network has shown and positioned itself, its allyship to Trumpism, and in the process, making Eminem a marked man.
And one of those people that they're not going to listen to is you, Eminem, because you're just so irrelevant. Your music isn't good anymore.
The original video, this needs to be stated, via Billboard, was at Reading Festival in Reading, England, and he led the audience in the call and response diss to Donald Trump during his first term. The date? August 28, 2017. So while this has been recycled, it needs to be stated very clearly that while Eminem's views have not changed, it is old. But to go off the first point, he has shown how much he despises the current president. He even slammed him during a show in Glasgow while wearing a shirt that read, and you see it on your screen.
What up, though? So look, I wrote down a few things I wanted to say. I love you too. Thank you. I'm here tonight for a couple of important reasons. As most of you know, the city of Detroit and the whole state of Michigan mean a lot to me. And going into this election, the spotlight is on us more than ever, and I think it's important to use your voice. So I'm encouraging everybody to get out and vote, please. I also think that people shouldn't be afraid to express their opinions. And I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution or what people will do if you make your opinion known.
When in Michigan, he endorsed Kamala Harris over Trump. Eminem News would also put together a list of 9 times the hip-hop artist would call out Donald Trump. From his appearances at rallies to his songs, there has been certainly a laundry list. When I see how the likes of Candace Owens, Tommy Lauren, Bill O'Reilly, Eric Bolling, Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham specifically, and many others call out Eminem, I think there are reasons to do it. But let's also be very clear. If he were to have these lyrics and he were to support their guy, what would they be saying? How would they feel about it? It would be very similar to Laura Ingram's 180 on Drew Brees. Drew Brees, former New Orleans Saints quarterback, would say, yeah, I don't have any respect for anybody who disrespects the flag like that in the wake of George Floyd in the summer of 2020. And yet we dug up, along with many others, how Laura Ingraham said of LeBron James, of course, shut up and dribble. But when it came to Drew Brees, it was, well, he has a right to express his opinion. He's an American. Why can't he express his opinion? Blatant hypocrisy. And with Tommy Lauren, by the way, who has faded into irrelevancy, it's rather odd seeing her say stuff like, first off, the bringing back job stuff, everything has been shipped out overseas and Trump doesn't care about it. And he could do this whole tariff song and dance. He's crashing the economy on purpose so he could save it. But her saying, building a career on being anti-gay, DV glorification, that's interesting. Wasn't it Donald Trump's ex-wife who said that he R-worded her and then, of course, later rescinded it? And the reports were that it was because of a potential hair transplant. Why have there been close to 30 women who have come forward accusing the current president of DV? Yet Tommy Lauren says nothing about it. She's silent. I'll tell you why. Because she learned her lesson when she was cut by the Blaze in Glenbeck because she came out as pro-abortion. Changed her tune pretty quickly, didn't she? She did. So she's already gone through the gauntlet of showing who she could potentially be, and now you have to assume that all of this is just an act.
And they're going to send out.
The game has been called. Jimmy Trumpet, please exit now. Exit over there. Follow him right there. Meadville fans, you guys are exiting this door.
So they're making all the fans exit. The game has yet to be declared over. But as you said, Tony, I think what we're going to do is have this game finished with no fans in the stands. Yeah, not what you want to see. I mean, it's kind of wild. There's no doubt about it. And they're trying to clear everybody out here. We'll step aside for a 60-second timeout. 3:12 left here in the fourth. Meadville 63, Uniontown 55. This place being cleared out, and we'll have a kind of a COVID-era game here, Tony, for the final 3:12, it looks like, with no fans in the stands.
At a local high school basketball game, there would be a pause in play. Why exactly? Check out this commentary from Tarek Fatal, a senior reporter for Sports Illustrated.
A bit of context here. So this is how this thing really starts. A traditional foul call, and a Uniontown player in the burgundy jerseys off the screen goes and dunks the ball after a foul has been issued. So referee gives him a tech, starts going at it with a fan or a parent. That's never good. But the young man fouls out. While the foul shots are being taken before the technical fouls, there's some activity going on behind the Medville bench. A fan getting into it. It looks to be cooler heads prevailing. Okay, administrative coaches getting into it. Uniontown players going back to their bench. But I circle this Uniontown parent that comes down the aisle, walks over behind the Medville bench, and just starts throwing haymakers. And this is where the trouble ensues. butt crack showing. We got police radioing in for help. Players start chasing down fans. This is Uniontown player again in the burgundy here, chasing down a fan or a student, knocking him to the ground. Medville in the white, and Medville up with about 3 to go, 63-55 in this playoff game.
Let's pause here. Please go follow Fatal for more breakdowns. He is fantastic.
2 arrests quickly made as things settle down. One man to the right of the gym gets put up against the wall, and the other gentleman is who we pointed out earlier in the video.
Here's more on the matter. Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStromShow. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you. All right, so let's get to this. The local reporting via Drew Miller of YourErie.com. He put in his write-up, the city of Medville Police Department charged 7 people, with some being students. Those names: Reginald Groom. Reginald is 44 years old. Those charges: simple assault, harassment, and disorderly conduct. Notorious Grooms, who is 18 years of age and a member of the Uniontown basketball team. He also got a disorderly conduct charge, along with Malik Wilson, who is 25. 3 16-year-olds were also arrested and charged. A 37-year-old named Joseph Chabat also received a disorderly conduct charge. Now, to reiterate, this was a playoff game. Tensions are high. The result? From KDKA News, the PIAA, or the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association, would rule the contest a double forfeit. Neither school advances because of this. Neither school. So not only do they beef with everybody else, but they also don't get to go forward. No matter what the score was, there could have been an epic comeback, yada, yada, it doesn't matter. Both schools eliminated. In addition, Uniontown and Medville have been censured. So let me see if I got this right. Not only do they forfeit this year, but it appears unless provisions are met, they will be suspended from next year's tournament as well. Now, to piggyback off of that, WTAE would report and write essentially that both schools need to show a plan for preventing something like this from happening in the future. Let me interject for a moment with an opinion here. They're going to say that they're going to add more police because that is what always happens. Oh, the problem was we just didn't have more cops. That's the reason. Let's give more money to the cops. Anything from the city of Erie that might need to be fixed or might need to be replaced, doesn't matter. Let's just throw more money at the cops. That'll solve the problem when it doesn't. We have years, decades of data backing this point up, nonetheless. They would follow all of that up with the players and coaches also need to complete sportsmanship training. So, enjoy it. For those who were involved, the spectators will be banned from each and every school-sponsored event until June of 2026. So those football games that y'all love going to, those baseball games, those volleyball games, those soccer games, those tennis matches, done. Can't go anymore. This was the statement released by Uniontown Area High School, okay? We are deeply disappointed that this incident happened. It is not in accordance with the expectations for sportsmanship that we have for our student athletes and fans and that we share with the WPIAL and the PIAA as a standard practice. The PIAA asked both schools conduct an investigation into what went down and submit the findings. We are working closely with those officials to conduct our inquiry and provide them with the information that they requested. So, here's my read. Seeing how players were involved in this is, I don't get it, but we've just seen, and we've covered this so many times, how reckless sports parents are ruining the festivities for everybody, no matter who it is, okay? But then to see one student chase after a fan and push them, teams are being separated, tensions are running high. I mean, it feels gross, honestly. It just does. Do I agree with the call that they should be potentially banned from next year's tournament? No, I don't. And that is unless, the findings show that there were further criminal actions that took place. I just don't know if I'm cool with them potentially banning both of these schools next year. Regardless, wild story. And it shows, once again, the darker side of sports, the toxicity of sports, the way that some just take it to a whole new level when it does not need to be taken to that point.
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world.
I really need everyone to understand that when world leaders talk like this, it has consequences because of their loyalists. Case in point.
Do you actually work for ICE?
No, not at all. Nope.
Explain the outfit.
It's $29.99 on Amazon. I would recommend buying a small if you're my size. This one's a little too loose for my liking. But yeah, if you want some entertainment, wear this and go to a Home Depot in a sanctuary city like where I live right now, Washington, D.C., and you'll see all the illegals. Not all of them, but you can maybe see a lot of them start to run away, and you feel like a group fitness instructor. It's really good.
And you actually think that's funny?
I think it's hilarious, absolutely. What's not funny is them illegally...
There you have it, everybody. One of the worst people I've seen here at CPAC, and that's saying something. Appreciate it.
This guy, who wears something as hateful as ICE attire, as if it were his favorite team's best player, finds joy and humor in deporting people. Newsflash, everyone is illegal on stolen land.
We're going to win Nevada, and we're going to win 4 more years in the White House. And then after that, we'll negotiate, right? Because we're probably, based on the way we were treated, we're probably entitled to another 4 after that.
To reiterate, when elected leaders say stuff like this, it is a dangerous precedent because words matter. The fact they are even toying with this should scare us all.
And so you would vote for Donald Trump in a 3rd term?
Yeah, I think I would.
And what do you think about the Constitution?
I'm a constitutionalist.
What about the 22nd Amendment that would prohibit him from running for a 3rd term?
Yeah, it would. I would bother me, but
you would still get your vote.
You would still get my vote.
These loyalists claim to be constitutionalists, yet want a dictator. Go figure.
GOP Representative Andy Ogles of Tennessee wants to make it possible for Trump to run again. The resolution to amend the Constitution aims to allow President Donald Trump and any future president to be elected to a 3rd term. Ogles stated that Trump is the only figure in modern history capable of reversing the nation's decay and restoring America to greatness, and says he needs more time to achieve this. The 22nd Amendment currently bars anyone from being elected to more than 2 terms.
The fact Trump's minions are putting out statements such as these shows 2 things. First, every day is a contest in the GOP between who can suck up to Trump the most. The second is simply that they do not care about instilling a dictator because it benefits them. Meanwhile, in La La Land...
Would you like to see Donald Trump run for a 3rd term?
Of course.
They are becoming more and more open to seeing a dictatorship for what they deem to be a country of freedom. It is just clueless stuff. Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStrom Show. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
Don't forget, John is great, and she is a great gentleman. He's now president for life. President for life. No, he's great. Hey, look, he was able to do that. I think it's great. Maybe we'll have to give that a shot someday. president in 100 years, person in the 100 years in charge. And he treated us tremendously well when I went over there.
What's the saying? When someone tells you who they are, believe them? These closed-door remarks were obtained by CNN in March of 2018, 2 years into the first Trump go-round. This has been his plan all along. It is sadly dependent on who takes the House, who takes the Senate, and if any conservatives stand up to the betrayal of the Constitution.
But do you think that having a king goes with the American way of life?
It's just like they calling Elvis the king. King of rock and roll. Michael Jackson's the king of rock and roll. What's the difference? He's the king of the presidency for us.
He's the king of the presidency.
He is the king of presidency, and I believe that's what he was referring to. And he is our king.
And that's playing to the top of your intelligence. You don't think he meant that he was the king?
No.
The fact she had the confidence to ask, what's the difference, is an indictment of the MAGA mind. She told us the differences, and one simple follow-up crumbled her argument.
We know that the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Now, I wanted to be a little bit more original than to use a phrase that you probably heard 1,000 times. But what's a better phrase than that? We can't do better. How simple is that?
Think about this line that we have heard oh so many times, a line the gun lobbyists write for lawmakers they bribe through the form of campaign donations when delivering town halls, addresses, and even meeting the media. Then listen to this.
You'd be in favor of them changing the Constitution for him to run for a third term?
Yeah, unless he turns into a Biden after 3 years. Then no.
Would you be in favor of abolishing the Second Amendment?
No.
What about people who say, like, oh, there's been all these school shootings, mass shootings. We need to do something about the second.
Give everybody a gun.
Just give everybody a gun? That's the solution?
Yeah, that's the solution. It's you can't stop illegals, people. I mean, having an illegal gun, except and the only way to defend yourself is with a legal gun.
Should teachers be strapped?
If I were a teacher, I'd be strapped.
What about a preschool teacher?
We don't know who's going to shoot those little kids, so yes.
What about a priest?
That's up to the priest, isn't it?
Just insane levels of depravity and an inability to see the bigger picture. It's sad, yet still is the United States of America, and this is the electorate. To see more from The Good Liars, head over to youtube.com/@thegoodliars, where you should absolutely subscribe to their channel, their Instagram for more content with the handle TGLNYC, and their Patreon to help keep them afloat. Great stuff as always from these two. Calling out elite people in comedy should be the rule of thumb.
I think Donald Trump's hair is actually another creature. Yeah. The hair's like going, good night, Donald. Good night, Donald. There we go.
Maybe it goes out. It goes out and makes money while he's asleep.
There is something about punching down that feels taboo, and punching up is the way to go.
Crack's not really my thing, but if it was, it would be fine if I was on that side.
Wow.
Don Jr.'s on coke.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. I'm a very stable genius.
It is very important, the work that the Jordan Kleppers are doing, the work that the Good Liars are doing, the work that our team here at the Turks are doing, and many more.
Used to see these tackles, now they tackle. Oh, head-on-head collision, bing, flag, footballs become soft.
You have Trump doing sound effects for tackles. The choice could not be more clear. Let's not beat around the bush about it.